to you live to do this training on the mindset hack for extraordinary results in business. This training is awesome. Something I've been talking a lot about this week with my clients, and I thought it would be a good topic to bring into this because it really is the thing that has really made a huge impact and difference to my business, right? It's the exact hack that has led to truly 100K months and 50K days. And we've all been told that consistency is the key to success, and it is. I do agree with that. I think consistency is super important, and I have been consistent throughout my business. But there's a reason why some of us can be consistent, but still not necessarily have incredible results, right? So there's more to getting extraordinary results than being consistent, and that's what I'm going to share today. So let me know if you are being consistent, if you are doing all the things that all the gurus are telling you to do, but you feel like there's something still missing, because that something could be what it is that I'm going to be talking about in today's training. But before I get into the training, I'm going to super quickly introduce myself to those of you who may be new to my world, because I know there are new gorgeous people coming into my world all the time. My name is Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor and a money mindset coach, and I help my clients who tend to be coaches and consultants to package and position their value into a high ticket offer. We create an offer so good that it practically sells itself. And I show my clients how to authentically accelerate their authority so they can take their prospects from cold to sold fast, right? Because this is a really important thing in the online space that a lot of people haven't fully figured out. And I teach my clients how to implement a predictable, organic client acquisition system so they can bring in consistent income, and it allows them to earn multiple six figures working less than 4 hours most days, right? Because I've been able to build this business without hustling, because I have a lot of other things going on in my life. So my life is busy, right? So I'm not just sitting around being lazy. I have a very full and busy life. I have an offline business. I have teenagers who still kind of rely on me. I have elderly parents who rely on me. They have significant disabilities, and I am their only support. So I have a very busy life, and I've figured out how to keep my coaching business super simple and achieve extraordinary results like I'm going to be talking about today. And when I work with my clients, I don't offer cookie cutter solutions. I do create a customized roadmap for them based on exactly where they are in their business today to help them to achieve exactly what they desire. And I think that's really important, because I have clients who are already making $100,000 in a month, and I have clients who might be a lot earlier in their business journey, right? And so from a strategy perspective, we look at very different things, but also from a mindset and energetics perspective, we need to look at different things. And today's training is going to be very much focused on the mindset piece, because there is a reason why two people can be given exactly the same strategy, but they can get very different results. And the reason for that is often mindset associated. And what I'm going to share in this training today is going to sound like what you've heard before, right? This is not rocket science. This is not something, that you've never heard about before, something that I've never spoken about before. But this is something that might land differently when you hear it this time, right? And if you'd like to explore what working with me looks like as well, send me a private message or drop a hashtag support, and I will reach out and see if we're a good fit. All right, so like I mentioned at the start of this this training, consistency is not enough. Yeah. I've always been consistent, and that has definitely helped, right? So please don't stop being consistent, because it is important, but it's not enough. That's not what helped me to bring in 100Ks in a month or 50Ks in a day, right? Those kind of unbelievable results come from having a different mindset, right? And I've been having these conversations with my clients this week, as I mentioned, and I've been really reflecting on this a lot recently. As you know, you kind of often look at how something happened and kind of go, well, what did I actually do differently? Because I've been consistent. I've always been consistent. So what was the difference for that to happen at that particular time? So I really encourage you, like I said, to kind of really take on board what it is that I'm going to share with you today, because this is, I can't tell you how important this piece is to have extraordinary results, to see what seemingly feels impossible be possible, right? And if you're not yet where you want to be in your business, if you've been consistent, if you are doing all the things, then it's more important than ever before that you really take on board what I'm going to share today, right? Because it's not what you're doing that's probably the issue, but it's who you're being. And I'm going to explain this a lot more. So I am not perfect, right? I am not perfect. I have made many mistakes in my life. I've made many mistakes in business. I really don't think I'm anything special either. You know, I was a super average student at school. I did go to university, but I was a pretty average kind of person, right? Honestly, I wasn't the best at anything, really. Yet, I've had this thing, this conviction, this self-belief, which I show up with in everything that I do. And I've been really reflecting on that recently, yeah, because of these conversations that I've been having with my clients as well. And that is a huge thing, and that is such an important thing, and it is something that can be embodied, right? It's how compelling we are in what we share, right? It's not about consistently sharing, it's not about doing more, but it's about the conviction that we have and how compelling that we're being in what it is that we're doing, and how we are being in between the doing that brings in extraordinary results, right? And I know that may sound a little bit confusing, so I'm going to go into this in more detail, right? It doesn't matter how consistent you are. Consistency is important, so please don't stop being consistent, but that is not what makes or breaks a business, yeah? If you sound like every other coach on the internet, if your content sounds like it's been written by AI and everyone's jumped on this AI bandwagon, and by the way, I think AI is brilliant, right? And I'm not saying don't leverage AI, because it can be leveraged, but vanilla does not sell. You can be the best coach on the planet, yeah? You can have all the certifications under the sun. You can get the most incredible results for your clients. But if your content sounds like regurgitated information that every other coach is sharing, that does not sell, yeah? It's your authenticity that sells. It's your conviction in the words that come out of your mouth that sells. It's your stories that sell. It's that depth, right? In the words that you say that sells, yeah? So many people I speak to, so many coaches I speak to, so many gorgeous women I speak to think they need more leads. They need more followers. They need to be omnipresent. They need to be on more platforms. They need, more reach, yeah? And sure, there comes a time in business when all of that is helpful, but none of that was necessary for me to make my first 100K month or 50K in a day, right? I have the smallest audience compared to other coaches who are earning the kind of income that I am. I have a minute audience compared to my coaches and other coaches. Yeah. The size doesn't matter. The size of the audience does not matter. My results are even more extraordinary given the size of my audience. It's not about all of those things that matter, right? It's not about what I'm doing that mattered. Yeah, but it was about who I was being that mattered. Here's the thing, gorgeous ladies, there are so many coaches to choose from that our clients could invest in, yeah? So what you've got to think about is, why should someone choose you? My clients don't invest in me because I'm consistent. They invest in me because of the conviction that I have and how compelling I sound when I speak and talk about the work that I do and the results that I get. My clients don't choose me because of how often I show up. Because I actually show up once a week on camera, yeah, and share maybe 3 or 4 pieces of content outside of this Facebook Live. My clients don't choose me because of the consistency or the frequency or any of those things. It's my conviction, my own trust, my self-belief. That's what's magnetic, yeah? That's why you can watch what anyone who's doing, anyone who's successful, go watch them, right? Anyone who is doing the things that you desire to be doing, you can watch them. You can actually even copy their strategies, right? People can go and copy my content. They can copy my posts. They can copy my Facebook Lives. They can do all those things, but they won't get the same results because they don't have the conviction. They don't have the self-belief. They don't have that kind of, I have what it takes. Yeah. And I haven't always had this conviction either. I've had wavering conviction over my life and even during the time when I've been in business. Yeah. But I have to keep reminding myself of who I am. And this is about the being. Yeah. I lead myself with certainty. And I'm leading myself with the same amount of certainty today that I almost had when I was 18. Yeah. If you look at young people, hey Alexandra, good to see you. Hey Jamie, thank you for being here. Yeah, it's also not authentic, right? And I'm guessing you're referring to the copying thing that I was talking about. Yeah, it's not. We all need to be authentically ourselves because that is what people want. They're not just looking for coaching, they're looking for a coach, someone that they can fully resonate with and someone that they believe in, right? And now if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't trust yourself because, you're remembering the last mistake that you made or the last lesson, I prefer to call them lessons that I learned rather than mistakes that I made because trust me, I have made plenty. Yeah. I'm not perfect. I've not been perfect all my life, but I can look back at my life and I can see so many things I did to give me the trust and self-belief and remind me of who I am. So I'd love you to share in the comments, who are you? When you look at yourself, who do you see yourself as? I left home at 18 and I have been financially independent ever since. And I have to remind myself of that. I traveled the world at around 25 by myself, entirely alone, because my friends couldn't get their shit together to come with me. So I went, right, I'm gonna go because I'm not waiting any longer. I met a man 2 months into my travels. No, that's not true. 2 months into coming into Australia. I'd been traveling before I got to Australia. And I married him 8 months later, and 25 years later, we're still together. We've navigated incredible highs and incredible lows, but we're still together and in love as we were on day one. I borrowed $300,000 against my home to invest in my first business. You know, and these are all stories that I've shared before, by the way. But this is reminding me who I am. I borrowed $300,000 against my home to invest in my first business, and I turned that into $1 million in 1 year. That's who I am. That business is that I co-founded with my husband. We've made way over $50 million in sales since. Yeah. I bought a $500,000 house without even seeing it. I didn't go and look at it. I bought it. That's who I am. I started this coaching business online with so much determination that I am leaving a legacy. I am making a difference. That's who I am. I have led myself with so much conviction, and I trust myself to figure shit out when things don't go to plan, because things don't always go to plan. I make mistakes all the freaking time. I have invested in stuff that didn't work. But I don't hang on to all those stories. I remind myself of who I am. Yeah. And I encourage you to look back at your life and share with me. Yeah, or do this for yourself. Who are you? Sometimes we only focus on the errors of our ways, you know? And like I said, I have made so many mistakes. I mean, I was 4 months pregnant. No. I'd had a baby 4 months after having my second child. I decided I wanted to become a school teacher. And I was breastfeeding my baby. I was pumping milk in the car park of the university while doing a diploma of education because I thought I wanted to be a school teacher. I did my first teaching round and I went, oh my gosh, I don't like children. I love my own kids, but I don't like children. So I didn't ever become a teacher. Now, do I beat myself up about that mistake? I invested $20,000 to get that diploma of education. Yes, I have kind of gone, I wish I'd figured that out before I invested the $20,000. Yeah, I wish I hadn't I'd figured out that I really am not cut out to be a school teacher before I did my teaching rounds. I have made plenty of mistakes in my life, but I know who I am. I'm not beating myself up about everything that went wrong and all the things I didn't do. But I focus on all the things that I did do really, really well and all the things that I am. And people make the mistake of thinking, and I've made this mistake of thinking this too, that I'm a risk taker. And I am. I'm not a risk. I'm not a risk. I'm not a gamble. That's the conviction that I have in me. And that is what sells. I bet on myself every day. This cannot be copied. Words can be copied, trainings can be copied, content can be copied, posts can be copied, but conviction has to come from within. Are we picking up what I'm putting down? Am I kind of sounding very preachy here? This is such an important piece that I wanted to share with you, gorgeous ladies, because it's like, come on, business is actually not that hard. It's not about the doing, it's not about the consistency, it's not about the strategy, but it's about who you are being in between the doing, in between the action taking, in between following the strategy, right? I once asked a bunch of my friends, close friends, how they describe me. I think it was for some program I was doing, and they said audacious. I am audacious. I've always been audacious. I've done things that many people wouldn't do, like buy a house without seeing it, which I turned into which I renovated and flipped and made $200,000 over COVID. So this isn't like, things that I did as a kid. This is stuff that I do on the side whilst running another offline business and building my coaching business and looking after my parents and, being available for my kids. There have been many times, including when I first started online, and also other times in my life, in between, when I've forgotten who I am. And maybe you've forgotten who you are too, because you're focusing on the negatives rather than the positives. When things don't go to plan, this is what we need to lean into and remind ourselves. This is about me and who I am. Yeah. I don't give up when the going gets tough. I'm the type of woman who decides on something and then freaking does it. My friends used to think that I was kind of a little bit cray-cray because, it was like most people have ideas, they think about it and then nothing ever happens. I'm like, I have an idea, I'm like done. It's like, oh, I bought a house. Oh, we're moving to the country. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, I'm off to Vegas tomorrow. Because I just decide and then I just do it. Yeah. And you don't have to be exactly like me. This is not what this training is about, right? You don't have to be like me to have extraordinary results. But if you don't yet have what you truly desire, you have to be someone that you're not being now. It's who you are being that matters. So, I'm going to ask you this question, and I really would love you to share in the comments. If I asked you to complete this sentence, what would you say? I am the type of woman who... ... fill in the blanks. I am the type of woman who... So let me share mine. I'm the type of woman who feels fear and does it anyway. I'm the type of woman who doesn't have to save up to start a business. I'm the type of woman who doesn't second guess my every move. I'm the type of woman who makes big moves, like paying $50,000 in full upfront to a coach without a sales call. I'm the type of woman who knows I am worthy and I can sell high ticket and I can have a multi-7-figure business and I don't have to work more than 4 hours per day and I can keep business simple and still succeed and all those things, right? I am that type of woman, right? Conviction. To be the woman who has extraordinary results and gets everything you desire, you have to leave who you are being now behind. If who you're being now is serving you, then nothing needs to change. But if it's not, that's what needs to change. It's not what you're doing. It's not another strategy. It's not consistency and doing more. It's who you are being. And become the person you have to be in order to have the results you desire. I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to have an impact. This group is where I'm really having the biggest reach and the biggest impact from a reach perspective. Yeah, I don't work with a lot of clients. I go a lot deeper with my clients because it's a lot more, we're talking about specifics and so on. But I'm not special. If I can do it, you can do it too. Truly. It's who you're being that makes a difference, right? We need to have unwavering faith. Oh, look, okay, I guess we can waver, right? That's perfectly fine. I waver. I promise you, I have my wobbles. I frequently have wobbles. Yeah. But it's the in-between stages. It's when we're having wobbles is when we need to pick ourselves up and fix that and do that work and really observe those thoughts and shift those beliefs, right? Having wobbles and not fully buying into who we are and then going and sharing content or doing a Facebook Live is like an affirmation, a band-aid on a broken bone, as I like to call it. It doesn't work. Be. It's not about what you're doing. Be that person. Let me ask you this. Who would you be when you have everything you desire? Just for ease, right? Because it's easy. We're in the business space. Let's talk about money. Who would you be when you have $1 million? Maybe you don't even want $1 million, and that's okay. We don't all have to have $1 million, right? And $1 million is just a freaking number. It doesn't matter. But who would you be when you have what you desire? Will you be more confident? Will you dress differently? Will you act differently? Will you be happier? Will you feel safer? Will you be more committed? Tell me, who would you be? If you knew with certainty that extraordinary results could happen tomorrow. Time is irrelevant. Time does not matter. Like, seriously, it is irrelevant. Wasting time, of course, matters, but it's not about having to wait for a particular outcome. None of that makes sense. Time is just a completely man-made construct. I can't stress enough that who you're being is more important than what you're doing. Who are you being when you're not doing a Facebook Live? Or not talking to a client? Or not writing a post? The in-between times. Who are you being? The habits you have between the doing, right, is when you got to really, really observe those habits, and that's where the work needs to go. The inner work. The belief shifting, the mindset work, the identity shifts. When you decide, and this is just purely a decision, right? Obviously, this is business we're talking about because I'm a business coach, right? Same thing applies to weight loss or finding the love of your life or anything else. When you decide you are committed to losing a certain amount of weight or looking a particular way or fitting into particular clothing or whatever, and you have unwavering belief in yourself, you'll do it. It's that level of commitment and conviction that you have that you can do it. And the truth is, I don't have this in all areas of my life. I am not perfect, gorgeous ladies. Let me be really clear on that. I like my glass of red wine. I love pizza. I love ice cream. I have a sweet tooth. I try and moderate things, but I know what I have to do if I want, a particular body. And similarly, I know who I have to be if I want extraordinary results in my business. When you decide you're the type of person who is committed to extraordinary results no matter what, that's when extraordinary results happen. It is no coincidence that, I invest $50,000. This has happened time and time and time again. Like, I make a big investment and then it's like, wow, how did that happen? Like, where the hell did the $50,000 come from? 3 months after I made a $50,000 investment paid in full upfront. I'm not saying there's a definite connection, right? You don't need to spend money to make money. You don't. But let me tell you what happens when you invest in yourself and in your business. It's a symbolic thing that happens. It's not because you have to invest. And this is not about investing in me. There are hundreds of other coaches out there you could invest in, right? This is about investing in yourself. The symbolism of betting on yourself is what brings in extraordinary results, not the actual investment itself. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It's not magic, but it's what happens up here, the transformation that occurs the moment that you do that. Who you become the moment you make a decision like that. So, yes, empowering yourself, absolutely. Absolutely. So let me ask you this. How much of your time are you currently spending in your comfort zone? Like, be really honest with yourself. How much time are you spending in that kind of la-di-da-di-da, everything's fine, this feels comfortable, easy. You may not be making money, you may not be exactly where you want to be, but you feel comfortable. How often do you feel you need a client, or you need to make a sale, or you need to make money? Now, think of the woman who has the $1 million business, or who has everything that she desires. How much time is she sitting in that need, in that lack, in that scarcity, in that fear, and in her comfort? How would you show up today if you just knew every person you spoke to was guaranteed to become a client? How would you show up today if you knew, if it was guaranteed and you knew that you could have $100K a month? How would you show up? This is the work. It's not what you're doing. It's who you're being. It's how you're showing up when you're doing the things, right? And there have been so many times when you've had unshakable conviction and confidence, and you didn't feel fear, you didn't feel lack, and you felt really safe, right? And they're the times that you need to anchor into. and tap into those feelings. And that is that being. I look back on times in my life when I actually had very little to nothing. Yeah, very little to nothing. When my husband and I first got married, like, we lived in an absolute dump. Like, really, like, it was a really, like, it needed renovations. It's all that we could afford. There were massive cracks in the house. The toilet was outside. That's how old the house was, right? And this is in Australia. And, you know, we didn't have a lot. And I was actually pregnant as well with my first. We didn't have a lot. But I look back at those times and I actually never felt lack. I never felt fear or scarcity or anything. I actually felt as abundant then as I feel today. Today, I feel the same whether I make $100,000 or if I make nothing. I don't feel lack or scarcity or fear. I feel fear about different things, by the way. I still feel fear when I'm about to make an investment, but it doesn't stop me, you know, and it might be, for example, full transparency, I'm about to embark on running ads, yeah, Facebook ads. Now, I've lost a lot of money on Facebook ads, let me tell you. So why the heck am I running Facebook ads again? Because I'm betting on myself. Because just because it didn't work out in the past doesn't mean that it's not going to work out again this time. Did I feel some fear? Yes, I did. I paid $7,777 to the business that's going to help me with the Facebook ads, and 24 hours later I made a $20,000 sale. It's who I was being, right? I feel disappointment. I feel all the feelings that everybody else feels. I'm human. I have many human moments. Yeah. And then I remind myself of who I am. And the more I remind myself of who I am and the more I keep being the person I have to be to achieve extraordinary results, magic happens. We've got to keep observing these thoughts and shifting these beliefs, and it's repetitive and it's ongoing. It doesn't stop, right? Life happens for all of us. I'm not unique. You're not unique. That shit doesn't happen in life. Life happens for all of us, right? And who you are being when all of that is happening matters. So when life happens, this is the other thing that I see so much in business. We want to stay in our comfort zone so much and we avoid disappointment, yeah, and don't do anything that might feel scary. So a classic example of this is, you know, you're selling something, you've got a launch happening, you know, and you're showing up and you're doing the things, nothing, crickets. No one seems to be interested. No one seems to be reaching out. You're not making any sales. So what do most businesses do, or women do? They start withdrawing. They start avoiding doing the difficult stuff, you know, avoiding the rejection, avoiding the feeling of disappointment, and they start pulling out of their launch, and they start doing other busy work instead, and they kind of start changing their offers, and they start doing other stuff that doesn't matter because they don't like that feeling of discomfort that comes from going all in and not seeing the results. And that is why they don't have extraordinary results. Going all in is having complete trust and faith and stepping into who you need to be and why people must buy what you have to offer. If you don't have that conviction, if you start withdrawing, if you start avoiding because you want to, you know, not feel disappointed, then it's not a surprise that we'll remain exactly where we are, having maybe mediocre results years into business. Going all in is talking more about your offer and giving yourself permission to sound like a broken freaking record if you need to sound like a broken record, and say the same things over and over and over and over again until people jump on board and you create a movement and have an incredible business. Like, we have to lead ourselves before we can lead clients. Building a business is like learning to walk. You don't stop because you stumble or fall. You know, babies don't just sit on the ground once they've had their first fall. They get back up. They keep falling, they get back up. They keep falling, they get back up. And that's how they learn to walk. It's the same with business. And the falls happen right throughout. I shared on my personal profile that we had a $950,000 quarter in the first quarter of this year in our offline business. $200,000 owing to us, we may never get because that company is claiming bankruptcy. We're taking them to court. Now, we don't quit, we don't stop, we don't cry, we don't kind of go, oh no, all that work for nothing. We have to still pay. We have 12 full-time employees who rely on us in that business. We have other clients who rely on us. We have suppliers who need to get paid. We can't just withdraw. We can't just give up just because someone has gone into bankruptcy owing us $200,000. That's not business. That's not how it works, right? It's who we are being. We're like, okay, well, that sucks. Let's take them to court, but let's get on with it. That's not what we're going to focus on. We are going to continue to focus on incredible work that we're doing, right? If something's not working in your business, you need to go all in and figure out why it's not working, and not just kind of withdraw or try a completely different strategy, because strategy hopping again is like busy work, wasting time, jumping from one strategy to the next. All the strategies work, by the way. All the strategies work. It's not about the strategy. It's not about the consistency. It's about who you're being. Truly. And it might sound really harsh, but honestly, it's the truth. Now, I'm a strategist, right? I'm a strategist, and I'm saying it's not just about the strategy. Of course, the strategy is important too, right? In my opinion, it's who you're being is way more than what you're doing that matters. You know, it's not about the meditating, it's not about the journaling, it's not about the affirmations alone either. It's about the intentionality as well with which you're doing these things, rather than just doing it because that's what someone said you should do, right? Being is the heart of the matter. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jamie. And this is and we all have this right here. It's within us. Yeah. And we all have human moments. We all have human moments. It is normal to have human moments. And it's about digging deep into those human moments to work through what's coming up and not avoiding it and not ignoring it and not just looking for the next strategy or the next tactic or the next thing that you can do so you can hustle more. You can hustle your way into success. Hustling your way into success is a surefire way of burnout, and your subconscious mind will not let you to achieve success just through hustle, because it's not sustainable, and that's when fear of success can also massively kick in. Yeah. This is the work, gorgeous ladies. This is the work, right? You have to consciously observe every thought and feeling, and not just the big ones. but the little ones too, and keep shifting through them. And these are the conversations that I'm having with my clients in between talking about the strategy and the implementation and what it is that they're doing. I remind them of who they are when they forget. This month, 2 of my clients are celebrating their first $50,000 months. They're both about 6 months into working with me. Yeah. And we're only halfway through the month. It's not entirely what they've been doing that's vastly changed to get to this point. But it's a combination of what they've been doing and who they've been being. Yeah. And this is especially the case for one of them. They're both on track to make $100,000 this month, right? And there's absolutely no reason why they both can't do it. But it all depends on who they will continue to be for the second half of this month. As they take the action, as they show up and do the things that they do all the time. Yeah. It depends on their ability also. And this is the other thing, releasing attachment as well to having a specific outcome in a specific time frame. Yeah. When I had my 100K month or my 50K day or my 50K week, I did not expect that to happen. I didn't. I did not expect that to happen. That's the truth. I believed it was possible. I always believe it's possible. I right now believe 100K day is coming. It's possible. It's mine. I'm claiming it. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm not attached to that. I just have to keep being the person who can have that. Gorgeous ladies, if you are done with playing small and ready to go all in and bet on yourselves, just freaking do it. Do it. It doesn't have to be with me. This is not about working with me, although I'd love you to work with me, by the way. I really would. I would love you to work with me. But bet on yourselves. Be the person who can have extraordinary results. And if you'd like to explore what working with me looks like, send me a DM. You do not actually have to spend money. I've said this before in this training too. It's not about spending money to make money. That's not what this is about. This is about investing in yourself, and your business is such a symbolic gesture to the trust that you have, the faith that you have in yourself, in your ability to succeed. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. My clients get incredible results because they are all in. They are all in. They felt the fear with the investment and they showed up for it fully. 70% of my clients get their ROI in the first 30 days because they show up committed to their success. Now, 30% do take longer, not because they're not great coaches, not because they don't have the skills or the talent, but because their belief isn't 100% there yet. The conviction isn't there yet, and that just takes a little bit more time. That's what it is. One of my clients has made 10 times their return on investment in just 6 months. And I remember so clearly the conversation that she and I had. I remember this so clearly. She said to me in Messenger, I didn't have a sales call with her. She said to me in Messenger, "Anne, I'm really scared that I'll never get over this fear that I feel." And I think she expected me to say, it's fine, it's all going to be okay, just invest in me, the fear will go away, it's all going to be fine. But instead I said, you won't. The fear never goes away. Fear never goes away. You just learn to walk with it. Trust yourself. It's not about trusting me. I have proven results. You know, I'm not making this shit up, because when you come into my world, you'll see all the people who are doing the things. Yeah. I have proven results. But do you trust yourself? That's what matters. I will leave it at that. I am so grateful for you gorgeous ladies for being here. It's always fun. I love this training. This is like, I love strategy. I am a strategist. I really, really love strategy, but the mindset piece is such a big piece. It's who you are being is what really, really matters. And I really, really encourage you, if you need to watch this training again, this isn't fluff. These are the conversations that I'm having with my clients. We go really deep. We figure out what their blocks are, right? And we rewire their mind. I have another coach who supports me on that front as well. She does a lot of the deeper subconscious work because I focus more on the strategy. This is the work. This is the work, and this is so, so important. It's not about just consistently showing up and doing the same thing you've always done, because if you would have the result now if that was going to be enough. You would have the result now if that was going to be enough. This is the work. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. And if you have any questions, whether you're watching me live, catching the replay, drop them in the comments. I come back and I respond to absolutely everyone personally myself. I do that. So I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. If you would like to explore working with me, reach out, send me a DM. Always happy to have a chat to see if we are a good fit. Otherwise, I will love you and leave you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time. Bye.